In this video, we'll review how to write a progress note, and I'll walk you through an actual example of a progress note I've put together for a patient. First off, what is a progress note? A progress note or a progress report provides an update of the patient's status, the response to treatment so far, and the progress the patient is making towards the goals established at the start of care or your evaluation. Progress notes can be helpful summaries for the physician, other therapists, and insurance companies. In fact, many insurance providers will have requirements on what should actually be included in a progress note and how often they need to be submitted. Most of the time, the major insurance providers will follow the lead of Medicare. So let's take a look at what Medicare requires for a progress note. First off, with Medicare and most insurance providers, you need to complete a progress note every 10 treatment days or by the 30th calendar day of the episode of treatment, whichever comes first. Your state may also have specific requirements and may even require you to complete a progress note sooner than that. In that case, you need to follow the rules set by your state. Okay, now let's dive into the anatomy of a progress note. As outlined by Medicare, the key components of a progress note cover these 7 areas: the time frame, patient subjective, objective measures, statement on improvements, changes to goals, plans for continuation, and signature and date. This video is brought to you by the therapy documentation templates from PT Progress. The average therapist spends 1 to 2 hours a day writing documentation. It's the #1 complaint of being a therapist. By the end of the day, your brain is tired, and it's difficult to put into words the skilled treatment you've been performing the entire day. When I finally learned how to document correctly, it saved me about 30 to 60 minutes a day. These well-crafted documentation phrases save you time by providing you with inspiration on how to phrase the skill that you provide to your patients. The guides have over 60 actual examples from assessments, goals, and even home health documentation templates. So head on over to ptprogress.com/documentation to download the templates and to save you time and mental energy so you can reclaim your evenings. #1 is the time frame. This is your start and end date of the reporting period. Now, it's not your certification period. The reporting period is a reflection of the segment of time within the time of the certification period. It may be from the initial evaluation date to this current progress note, or from this progress note to another progress note. The point is, you need to identify what period of time the data in your progress note is referring to. #2, patient subjective. You need to include an objective reporting of the patient's subjective statements. So, like in a regular SOAP note, you need to make a comment on the patient's subjective statements. #3 is objective measures. These are based on the goals you initially set for the patient, including items like range of motion, strength, balance, functional tests, and other items you can measure. #4 is statement on improvements. Your progress note needs to comment on the improvements or lack of improvements towards the patient's stated goals. This is basically like an assessment section and should reflect why they need further skilled treatment from you. #5 is changes to goals. In addition to an assessment, you need to remark on the status of and any changes to the long-term or short-term goals that you've set with the patient. #6 is plans for continuation. The plan should include the duration of the recommended treatment as well as the areas to focus on, like specific strengthening, balance training, or other functional tasks related to the patient's key impairments. #7 is signature and date. The final component of a progress note is to sign and date it. Be sure to include your professional identification and credentials, and remember that it has to be legible, or some insurance companies may deny payment to you. All these items must be completed within the reporting period, 10 treatment visits, or 30 days. Now, to make things even more complicated, these items don't necessarily need to be completed in one note. They can be completed within the documentation performed through the period, but it's best practice to remark on all of these items within your progress note just to be sure you've got your bases covered. So that's it. You've learned what it takes to write a progress note for Medicare. Here's a look at an example of a progress note written out on paper. And you can download this progress note that is fully customizable on ptprogress.com/progress note example. You can see the link below. If you found this video to be helpful, I would love it if you gave it a like below. Also, if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.